Yesterday, teams within the clump traded blows as the top teams furthered their leads heading towards playoffs. Later in the day, Froggen and his squad will face off against 100 Thieves after Game 1, which has Clutch Gaming versus Echo Fox. Here you see Demonte making his way to the stage just moments ago. Vulcan, Huni, and Tail. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mid Lane Monday on Sunday. For LCS Countdown, where for 30 minutes we rank the mid laners in the league and diagnose the symptoms of a last-place team until the timer reaches 0 and we jump into Champions Select. In the first segment of the day, though, we recognize the players that relinquish the need to carry, just to say I'm helping. Brought to you by State Farm. In the face of a bot lane battle, Golden Guardians members used every oh-crap ability to save their teammates. Take a look.
If Froggen just keeps coming down, though, it's not going to be that strong as Zeyzal does try and get the bolt in. We'll find 2. Oh, wait. Are they going to get knocked up there? Definitely does have his ulti, so this has to be a bit more patient. Sneaky jumping in. They want to try and get contracts.
Whoa.
That was real nice as they devour and Fate's Call off to safety.
Try to back.
You don't mean all. You don't mean all.
No.
Eat all these?
Eat.
Okay.
Eat me.
Okay. Nice.
Nice tough, guys.
I absolutely love the comms.
Eat me.
So we were trying to figure out the name for it. One of the producers was Callista Kench, the clench. Which I think is very appropriate when you're trying to saved last second. Like,
Save me.
Everybody's doing it. Eat me.
yeah.
I love it. Let's turn our attention to the schedule for the day, though. First up, Echo Fox and Clutch Gaming clash, with Cloud9 and TSM challenging one another in Game 3. FlyQuest versus Optic Gaming for Game 5, followed by the LCS Cooldown, where Freak, Azale, Niski, and Licorice try to top Darshan's singing from last week. But will they be able to top Kobe's singing? That's the real question.
I want to see anyone try.
Doubtful. All right, well, coming into the week, the analysts were challenged to rank the mid laners of the league from best to worst. Now, before we take a look at how you stack them, or we're going to take a look at how you stack them up, but I want to know, before we discuss the rankings themselves, what were you looking at in trying to stack rank these guys?
Well, I had a lot of difficulty with this, honestly, because to me, this season felt like it was not a season for mid laners. Like, I don't think of the season and think, wow, these mid laners have been popping up. I think about top laners, I think about junglers and the supports. So I had a lot of difficulty doing this, and this is what I have.
Yeah, and I think how you rank them also matters for each of us individually, because for me, it's not just about like raw skill, which is how some people do it. It's also about the performance you're putting forward and what's expected of you, because some people are great, but you know, maybe they don't synergize well with their team, they don't speak English, and it kind of hurts their ability to work with them.
Yeah, I was prioritizing a lot of early game as well, because I feel like that's super important for a lot of the games right now.
All right, fair enough. So what I noticed at first glance is, of course, all three of you are in agreement on who the top 3 are, ordering to be varied. And so that's where I want to start. We've got Bjergsen topping the list for both Mark and Kobe. Jensen on the side of High. Let's defend that Bjergsen pick.
Honestly, I was surprised that High had a low opinion of Bjergsen. He had...
Whoa! Top 3!
He started flaming us for putting him #1. But Bjergsen has the highest experience difference at 10. His laning stats are amazing. He's 2nd in CSD at 10. He's #1 in gold at 10. For all mid laners. Plus, he's not even getting the kills in mid lane. He's also #2 in kills and assists at 15. None of them are in the mid lane. They're all roaming around to help out the bottom lane, help out the top lane. He's been working with Acadian super well, so I think that working with your jungler early on in the game is a huge part of how the early game has to go now.
I think he's been the most well-balanced of any of the mid laners. In a season where you can do a lot of different things, he's kind of done it all for me.
Fair enough. So then where are the demerits for Bjergsen, or rather, what is it about Jensen that puts him higher on the list for you?
Right. I feel like you guys are devaluing Jensen only because he's on the top team, and there are games where he doesn't need to do much to win, which is a fine argument, but that doesn't discredit his skill, power, and prowess on the team. He's on the #1 team for a reason, and even if he doesn't have to do anything necessarily in the game, that doesn't mean he's not crushing lane, having CS differences, and doing well in that. I don't believe Bjergsen is the same MVP that we've seen in the past splits. He's still definitely well, since I have him in the top 3, but I don't believe it warrants a first place at the moment.
I think it's interesting that I wouldn't put anyone right now as an MVP favorite or even potential candidate from the mid lane, which is unheard of, I think.
Yeah, it speaks to your earlier point about this split. More of the focus has been around other parts of the map. Yeah. But the other thing I want to call out, of course, is the fact that Niski made it into top 3 for all 3 of you, whereas Bjergsen and Jensen, they're always a part of this conversation in North America. But this guy returns to NA after jumping jumping back over to Europe. And here he is absolutely crushing and impressing all three of you.
It's super impressive. I mean, I think his first weekend was a little bit getting used to it, but now we've seen him on a variety of champions. His Aatrox, his Zoe, his mid lane mages, his bruisers, assassins, all of it has looked good so far, and he's done it without feeling like the team needs to work around him. It's still Licorice who is the primary focus on this team, but he's slotted in and has been able to support C9's style.
Yeah, and I feel like he's also been able to create a lot of plays, whether it's through Zoe burst or being the initiation on the team. He definitely like fills that role for them.
He's gotten a lot of solo kills actually with the Aatrox onto Hui, and the main thing for me with Niski is that he came into with big shoes to fill, right? He had to replace Jensen, and they're still the second place team right now, and he's looking amazing in all his games. So he came onto the scene. I'm pleasantly surprised by him.
Moving beyond the top three, I want to talk about Crown, our world champion import here in the mid lane for Optic.
You know, I had him the lowest out of us, but only by one. It was 4th place for the other teams, 5th for me, and I think it's undeniable eyeball test how amazing this guy is. He's clearly one of the most skilled mid laners, but this teamwork synergy just quite isn't there. He still wants to do that. He has high vision score, all this stuff, but he dies the most of any mid laner in the league, and you can see there are times where he is not on the same page at all. So while the skill is there for me, I think he struggles to work with Optic, who have had their own problems, regardless of him, in the mid and late game.
Right. He has a different juggler every other game or something
exactly.
like that, which may or may not matter to some people, but I don't know how well his communication goes with both of them. So even despite that, he looks really strong on a losing team.
Yeah, in some of the interviews, they even talked about it's actually just hard because he hasn't learned as much English as the other ones yet, so it's hard to switch.
And while you guys fairly align on your tier list in terms of Crown, one of the biggest discrepancies we have is Pobelter. Mark, you have him listed 4th. Kobe, for example, you have him in that 7th slot. So Mark, talk to me about why he's top 4.
In a season where we talk about mid lane carries not being the highlight of their teams, the people who have done the best assisting their teams are the ones that I have been rating a little bit higher, I think. And Pobelter's done phenomenal this split, getting out of the laning phase, assisting Viper, helping him carry. He's been playing mostly team-centric champions, high vision score, and I think he, kind of similar to Bjergsen, but not quite as good, has been more focused on setting the rest of his team up for success.
Fair enough. Now, Kobe, I'm hopping over to you because you have Froggen sitting in that 5 slot. Yeah, Froggen Phoenix. So what is your thinking there?
So again, I was looking a lot at lane dominance for these guys and how they're going to set their teams up for moving through
That's the only part that matters.
It's not the only part that matters, but I feel like it's so important right now because teams should be playing a faster average game time, and NA has been lagging behind. I think that the mid laners are a part of that. So that's why I was looking at the mid laners that could try and push us forward as a region. And Phoenix is one of the guys that he was actually the one that was he was the only one above Bjergsen in the CSD. You can see it in the games as well, just through the eye test. When the Zoe games, he's chunking people out left and right. Again, I think the weaknesses for him and why he didn't top the list came down to the team play. His warding is very low, as well as more communication issues. So it's a lot more like solo plays rather than
more volatile.
Yeah, rather than working with the jungler and getting a vision together. It's been much more solo. Kind of a similar thing for Froggen. We saw him yesterday on the LeBlanc and Assassin, different look rather than the team fight carry or large scaling AP threat for later. And it wasn't quite as good.
Two very polarizing players, high highs, low lows. With that, of course, we're going to be checking in on the mid laners throughout the day, so stay tuned for that. A reminder that tickets to the spring finals in St. Louis go on sale March 5th. That's Tuesday. Make sure you have the entire day blocked out so you can snag your set as we crown the LCS champion. We're taking a break. When we return, we preview TSM versus Cloud9 and prescribe some cures to last place itis. You won't want to miss it. Welcome back to the LCS Countdown, where we're 18 minutes away from Champions Select. The standings show not much has changed in the top end, except that CLG has squeaked into 4th alongside FlyQuest, with the teams below them not too far behind. And of course, that leaves Clutch Gaming down there in 10th. Now, when you're riding the bottom of the standings, it can be hard to figure out what's going wrong. And thankfully, we've got Dr. Mark and Dr. Azael to diagnose their playoff hopes.
Thanks, Dash. Here at the LCS Memorial Hospital, we're using the latest in league medicine to help diagnose team sicknesses and see if they can be saved in time for playoffs.
That's right. And while some teams are pretty healthy and looking strong, there are a few sick teams.
Yeah, first on the patient list here, we got Counter Logic Gaming, who are showing the telltale signs of intermittent lane vertigo. Now, symptoms can include, but are not limited to, confusion, disorientation, and a CSD deficiency at 10.
Yeah, very concerning stuff. Now, the key to treating lane vertigo is not to panic. Stay calm. Instead, remember, you're a decent mid to late game team. Just wait until the episode passes.
The more concerning thing on their charts here is that CLG's thrust paresthesia and occasional paralysis. Allow me to demonstrate. It's a similar reaction to when you get hit in the knee and your leg goes out, but with Thresh winding up his hooks. Most players, when they see this, if you'll demonstrate, dodge out of the way. And this is a very normal reaction to just dodge it. Now, if you will, this is CLG's reaction. As you'll see, there is no reaction. They just keep getting hit by Thresh hooks. Yeah, this is very concerning.
Definitely would not want to leave that untreated. I will recommend a prescription for some Thresh bands.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it is very easily treated.
Yeah, as a whole, minor problems, and CLG's heart is looking strong, so they should pull through. Perhaps more troubling, though, Golden Guardians, who are struggling with bouts of mistaken identity. At teams, they're even believing they're an early game team.
Yeah, and as a result, they've contracted a really bad case of NA Jace. Oh, I'm sorry to say that despite modern medicine, this is an incurable disease. But I don't want to make this seem worse than it is.
Yeah, don't be embarrassed.
Yeah, lots of people have NA Jace, and they live long and fruitful lives.
I know it's hard to believe, but I know some people who have even gone to Worlds with NA Jace, Mark.
I mean, see, that's how you know it's not that serious. But you should still make an effort to limit your exposure to it, else you might risk spreading it around further in the league.
Definitely don't want to infect anyone else with that.
Yes, no.
And Golden Guardians, they're also suffering from a serious case of bad macro. I'd like to start them on a pretty heavy regimen of VOD review right away, see if we can't clear that up.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, though, they have a healthy body for the most part. Their muscles are strong. They should be okay heading into playoffs. The last one run, I don't know if it's quite the same way.
It's looking rough.
Last minute emergency coming in yesterday. 100 Thieves in their game. They got a lethal dose of NA Fiesta.
Yeah, regrettably, it's not looking like there's really anything we can do for them.
Their exposure levels are off the charts. Is there any way we're going to be able to save them?
I don't think so. My best guess, they've got 3 weeks.
I thought you said they had 3 more weeks, Isaac. I won't lose another team.
That's just clutch.
Oh, all right. Well, back to you, James.
I had no idea that my League of Legends play and my health were so closely connected.
It's a very
They go hand in hand.
it's a tricky thing to understand. That's why you have to be a doctor.
Exactly.
Years of medical research.
I loved that. I absolutely love that. Of course, we'll see if these teams can make you a liar in any of your diagnoses as they make their race towards
anyone who makes playoffs for the last 2. Yeah, I might lose my license if 100 Thieves or Clutch make it to playoffs.
Yeah, very much so. Well, later on in Game 3, we've got a rematch between Cloud9 and TSM. A classic LCS matchup with years of epic clashes between them.
Right, this is something that's gone back for a very long time, right? I've been a part of it, and it's still a thing that happens. Throughout the years, you see TSM and C9 in the finals, and they're consistently there. One of these teams are always the top 3.
Yeah, it feels like almost every single finals has contained one of these teams, and oftentimes both. And it's just an insanely storied rivalry. 12 combined appearances, 8 combined LCS titles. It's no doubt that these were the 2 best teams in the league in the entire history until Team Liquid started asserting themselves recently.
Yeah, Team Liquid kind of the new king on the block that has come in and trying to push these 2 teams out. It's crazy to me, though, that TSM and C9 are the number 2 teams trying to take down Team Liquid now. They're trying to retake the legacy and push Team Liquid back out.
Changed.
Yeah.
Team Liquid number 1 now.
They
no
always
longer
deliver. Of course, neither of these teams in danger necessarily of falling out of the playoff picture. It's just about vying for that seeding with Team Liquid out in front. As it is Mid Lane Monday on Sunday, I do want to talk about the mid lane matchup that we got going on here. Typically, this is Jensen v. Bjergsen, but now it's the guy who's filled Jensen's shoes in Niski up against Bjergsen.
My favorite thing about this is the kills and assists at 15, first and second in the league. You know that these are the most 2 active mid laners in terms of helping the rest of their team out as well. So I want to see which of these 2 can get out and influence the side lanes more, because I expect, you know, Licorice versus Broken Blade or potentially Sven versus Sneaky will be the breaking point in this match.
Yeah, that's been one of the biggest things of this season for me, is that both those guys, the kills and assists at 15, we looked at the locations of those kills. They're almost all in the side lanes, a lot towards bottom, which makes sense. You know, Dragon is down there. It's so much stronger now. So a lot of the action is coming from how they're working with the rest of the team.
Now, realizing, of course, that the tier list you guys threw up there, we're looking at the players as individuals and maybe how they fit into the teams. But now I kind of want to take the opposite approach of the player within the team and the team around him and how you expect maybe this mid lane matchup to play out. You may have Bjergsen higher on the tier list, but do you think Bjergsen will necessarily win today's mid lane matchup?
Well, it's highly dependent on the champions they get, right? Like, if we're gonna see like a super boring matchup of like, say, Lissandra versus Orianna or something like that, there probably won't be that much going on. But if one of them picks something cool, like a LeBlanc into Zoe.
Zed.
Or Zed.
We really want
I don't know if that's going to happen, but pick a Zed. It'd make the lane matchup much more volatile, where it's a skill-based matchup instead of just like an even 50-50 trade on CS.
I mean, even if you see the LeBlanc, I expect it'll be like, I chunked him out, now where can I go with my jungler? Versus like, let's dive mid with the LeBlanc kind of play that we used to see in previous seasons.
Very fair. Either way, eagle eye on that mid lane matchup. We're stepping away after the commercial break. We predict how the matches play out and look into Echo Fox versus Clutch Gaming. Meet us here after this. Welcome back to the LCS Countdown. In the spirit of Mid Lane Monday on Sunday, we assigned Hi, Mark, and Kobe the job of breaking down the intricate mechanics of a mid lane 1v1 to find out what separates
Hello, Hi, Mark, and Kobe.
What? What in the
It took over the screen!
What's
What is
going
it?
on?
Ow! It's infecting the entire studio. You get out of here.
Is that his face, actually?
Welcome back to America's
looks
number
like-
one league esports stats competition.
The number one
Jot
league?
Stats. I was informed I can come off as impersonal, so I have adapted by adding eyes that you can look into.
I don't want to look
hear
into those
humans
eyes.
like
Okay, less
that.
creepy
creepy,
eyes.
Those eyes are creeping the hell out of me.
Jats. I'm pretty sure they're just Jats eyes.
Jat's got creepy eyes.
In keeping with your theme, all of today's questions will be focused on the mid lane. Since we started tracking the stat in 2014 spring, which LCS mid laner has the most solo kills in regular season and playoff games?
LCS mid lane.
2014, pretty long time. So Bjergsen's jumps out
Just
because
like total
Most solo
absolute kills.
most solo kills.
Yeah.
So Bjergsen's been playing a ton and has been on the top for a long period of time.
Jensen has been around for a bit.
Jensen.
Pobelter's been around.
Pobelter's
for a bit.
been around for a minute.
When
so
did Jensen
between
come
those three.
over?
2015.
Jensen was
They missed the
2015.
full
So he's
year.
missing a year.
Yeah, but he led the league by like 50 kills
he had
that
some
one split.
insane
Final answer,
kills.
Bjergsen for me.
Jensen.
I'm gonna go Jensen. I'm with Mark on this one.
All right, I'll go Jensen too.
The correct answer is TS and Bjergsen.
It
Yeah,
was
because he
close.
missed a year. Yeah.
Yeah, it was close. Eh.
Wait, I wonder how many
Classic-
times he's
the
solo
classic
killed me.
fallacy
That's the
of
question.
following Mark.
Don't listen to me.
I'm gonna say
How many
0.
times are you gonna do it?
Never listen to Mark.
Mid laners kill a lot of people, but they also kill a lot of minions. Which LCS mid laner has the highest CS per minute in regular season and playoff games? Hint: this player is actively playing now.
We got a hint.
Okay,
Oh,
so
it's one of the 10 guys.
I bet it's a bait
in the LCS
and it's
right now.
Froggen, and he hasn't played in the playoffs.
In regular season and playoff.
It's including both, but the playoff games don't matter.
But right, if you've never played playoff games, the stat still persists.
I don't know
right?
if that's true.
My-
I'm just trying to read.
Highest CS.
My answer is Phoenix, because that
He's
guy
really
historically
good.
is really good at CS.
Yeah.
And,
You
like,
think he just
he
farms like a
doesn't miss
monster?
the CS,
Yeah.
which is a common mistake.
Phoenix is almost for
It might be a trick question.
Well,
I'm gonna
now-
go Bjergsen in
I'm
case
gonna
it's a
I'm gonna go with high because I went with Mark last time.
Oh, I was going to do
failed.
Phoenix
Yeah.
as well because
No!
he led the league.
Wait,
He
no!
He was first in the
You
world.
must pick somebody
He had the
else.
highest CS per minute in the
Final
world.
answer!
I demand a different answer.
The correct answer is Power of Evil.
Wow. Well, we're all wrong. I don't care as much anymore.
Yeah, he hasn't played very many games here. Whatever.
Wow, really? Wait, it's over 10 a minute.
Well, he eats the Raptor camp a lot.
Pretty sweet for a career average.
Yeah.
Since you humans are having this nonsense mid lane Monday when it is actually Sunday, what LCS mid laner most recently won on a Monday?
What? When were there
We
games
did-
on Monday?
we did-
It was a tournament.
Well, no, but didn't we have the day
Was
where we
Worlds
pushed
on a
games
Monday?
Oh,
to-
the tiebreakers.
The
were on
tiebreakers.
Monday.
Didn't we push those to
Yeah,
Monday?
we had tiebreakers
So
on Monday.
I don't remember which team.
Wait, was Worlds on Monday though? Because one of the LCS mids could have won on a Monday at Worlds.
Usually Mondays are.
Then it'd be Jensen.
I think it was the tiebreaker
It was the tiebreakers. Do you remember who was the tie? I don't even remember.
Was 100 Thieves there? Or was it the other 4 teams?
I'm gonna go with Jensen.
Mine is
Cloud9
Jensen 'cause
probably
I know
won.
nothing
Oh, no, they weren't in
else.
tiebreaker.
Tiebreak.
Ryu wasn't in there because 100 Thieves won outright. They didn't need to tiebreak that, did
Can
they?
we get partial credit for for just knowing there was the tiebreaker?
Phoenix.
The
Put an
correct
answer
answer
in.
is Jensen when Cloud9
Hey,
faced
hey,
Detonation
I said that
Focus
already.
Group
It wasn't Worlds.
Monday,
That's right.
October
It was
1st during the
Worlds.
2018 Worlds
Do I
play-in
get like an
stage.
assist?
That
I didn't
did
get it right.
focus
but-
me. Oh man.
Can I get an
that's
assist for
brutal.
helping?
Yeah, you definitely did help, because I had no idea the answer to that question.
And I love how. Oh.
That does it for this iteration of Jot Stats. I feel closer to you in a way that I haven't before.
Yeah, I feel grossed out.
I'm sure you
I haven't
value this
before, but
relationship
kinda
greatly,
weird. Yeah, it's all the same,
which
I
is
guess.
nice. Let's move on to predictions. Go Dash.
What are you running
this
the
is
show
your
now?
cue.
You heard him.
What is that? You don't tell me when to speak. I tell me when to speak. Well, rather, the producers tell me when to speak. Let's see where you're placing your bets as we look at your predictions today. You are all over the place, gentlemen.
Nice.
We've got Kobe still behind Clutch in that first game of the day.
I invested 12 of my LCS stocks.
Dude, I gave up. I picked Golden Guardians. I was like, 100 Thieves not winning this.
Kobe is going to be bankrupt soon enough. We've got 100 Thieves call out from the stats bot. Very intriguing against Golden Guardians. And then the only person to put their faith in TSM is I in that third game of the day. I love the fact that there's some discrepancies in today's predictions. Once again, though, we are bringing back the weekly wager today. So let's see what game will take center stage.
Oh, don't tell me it's the TSM one.
It's going to be the TSM one, dude.
Oh, please.
You're going against Jack?
Oh, please, no,
Dubs, baby. TSM. All right, gentlemen, as we know which game we're playing for, let's talk about punishments. The loser has to turn over his Twitter for the rest of the show to the other analysts. Not like this. I don't know why they're bringing this up. Freak clearly tweeted that himself earlier today.
That's a good picture of you.
It's a great picture.
It's just, I guess, a reference for what it would look like.
Yeah, that must be what it was.
Because he posted it himself. That's why it's a good picture.
Freak clearly did that of his own volition.
Yeah.
Not very convincing.
I'm just gonna tweet weird stuff from people's Twitters.
Do it, man. Well, you gotta win
You have to
first.
win first.
Bad takes. I'm gonna tweet about BTS being bad so their army attacks people.
That's
Personal experience.
dangerous.
I don't recommend that. I got attacked for quite a long time and still get attacked occasionally.
Yeah.
Their music is fine, guys. I'm sorry for what I said.
So we got the 2 votes for Cloud9 over here and the vote for TSM here. So
Me and
either
Mark are
way,
always together.
somebody's handing over their Twitter accounts and I get to play along just for the fun of it. Got an idea for a reward, or let's be real, a punishment that you'd like to see these guys endure on our weekly wager? Go ahead and send your thoughts and ideas our way at LOL Esports with the hashtag LCS. Ahead of his match, though, in about 3 minutes, Scrag had this to say about the team's current mindset.
The morale obviously took a hit, but it wasn't that bad. Like, we're still very determined. We have to pretty much win every single game from here on out to make playoffs, but you know, everyone's like got their head in the game, and you know, we're trying to work together as a team. This is a good matchup for us. I think stylistically we match up really well versus Echo Fox. We showed that the first time in the first round robin, and this time I think it'll be pretty much more of the same. Like, we're just a more aggressive team. I think we're just stronger in lane phase for the most part, and I think our team fighting is better as well. And I think our draft will be better. So I'm pretty confident today, for sure.
Sounding good. I already bought in, so...
Kobe's like, I'm on that train.
Let's hear it.
I mean, talk about the mental game. Interesting. I mean, glad to see a coach talking up his team, but that's a tough loss to stomach when you're near perfect gaming a team and then they reverse it on you to take the victory. That's got to hurt.
You would think so. I would think so. But there is still that kind of other lens you could look through where it's like, hey, we were perfect gaming a team. Like, we were
until we didn't.
Until,
right?
and to be fair, those were
that part.
Individual mistakes too, for the most part. Piglet really kind of, when he died mid lane, started a horrible
You never know. Maybe someone told him to 1v3 them really quick,
maybe.
right? Maybe someone just like told him, hey, Piglet, can you kill these guys really quick for us?
Piglet was the first domino, but then you also gotta look at the shot calling and the team that after one person dies, all funneling in. They're like, you know what? We'll give them every single bounty and still the Baron.
But hey, you could look at the optimistic lens where it's we were perfect gaming
Mark
a team.
Ever the optimist, as we know him. Of course, you heard McScrag say it. They pretty much got to win out the rest of the split if they have any chance at playoffs. So we'll see if they can start that run here. With that, we're tossing out to the battle arena for the call.